Hello everybody! Let's talk about gear. Everybody loves to talk about gear. Even though people love to fight about gear, I don't want to fight about gear, but I'm going to talk about gear not to tell you what to do, this is how you should do it, this is the only way to do it, but to give you one more data point on some ideas on gear. Specifically, I'm going to Africa. I leave in about a day and a half. And so I'm all packed up. I'm going to unpack everything, talk about it, and then repack it to get on the plane to go to Africa. So let's get started. This is my main backpack that I'll be using on safari. So this will come with me in the safari vehicle every day. It is packed as a carry-on. So I'm going to carry this on my back, and then I'm going to carry this. Can you even see that? Yeah, you can see that. That's kind of my carry-on bag for travel that'll have my laptop and my iPad, my sleep mask, you know, all that stuff, snacks, the stuff I need for travel, my AirPods, blah, blah, blah. You know the deal. But I'm packing enough camera gear in here that if my main suitcase gets lost or misplaced for a while, it's laying right here, I can still have a great trip. So I'm bringing 2 camera bodies and 2 lenses in this bag that are very versatile. And I've got another lens and another lens that are packed away over here that are kind of backups and extra. But let's just dig right in. So this is the Gura Gear 30-liter Kiboko 2.0. I do not have the one with the laptop sleeve built in. I wish I did, but I don't, unfortunately. So anyway, let's go right in. So these Gura Gear bags have this kind of butterfly style. So let's start on this side. This is the big one. So this is the Nikon Z9 with the 400mm 2.8 TC. And it just fits. It fills up this whole compartment. There's nothing else in there. But it's just going to ride like this. I normally don't recommend people travel with the lens connected to the camera body, just because, you know, you can get weird torques on them and stuff and really mess with that lens mount. But I'm just going to leave them connected because this bag will be with me at all times. I'm not going to let this out of my possession at any time. So I'm going to be able to treat this gently, and I won't have any problem with that. But if you're throwing it into a packed bag or something, disconnect your bodies from your lenses. That would be a smarter thing to do. Okay, so there's that. And then on this Gura Gear bag, we've got a couple of zipped pockets here. I've got a little card wallet here, Think Tank card wallet with some extra cards, and I've got a little filter wrench here so that I can get filters on and off lenses easier. I do have a couple of filters that I'm bringing with me. I'll talk about those in a minute. It's got this other little bag up here, or zipped pocket, where I've got some lens cleaning cloths. I've got the lens caps for these 2 and for the other side as well. They're packed away in here. I've got a little rain, I forget what Peak Design calls these, the rain shell that just slips over your body and lens in case we get into some rain. I'm not bringing like a full rain gear setup for being out, like if I was going to Alaska or something. I just don't need it. So I carry that little rain shell, and then on this side I actually carry in a little pouch those little cheap plastic rain shells that you can buy that are kind of disposable, kind of an emergency, just if I happen to need one for some reason or another. That's there. What else? I guess that's about it. I've got a couple of extra like lens plates, like quick release lens plates over here, you know, little things like that. Just little knick-knacky things that I might need, just kind of stashed in little pockets all over the place. On this side, I showed you that I've got remote trigger, which I'm going to talk about a little bit later, both wired and wireless remote triggers. I'll leave those out because I'm going to talk about those in a minute. And then on this side over here, I've got, I'll set those on the ground. Camera number 2 is Nikon Z8 with the Tamron 35-150 f2 to f2.8. This will be my first time bringing this to Africa. I'm actually very excited about this lens. I used it this fall with great success, shooting moose and elk and things where you can get a little more environmental perspective on it. The fast aperture is awesome. That 35-150 range, I think, is going to be really, really good for being on safari. So I'm really psyched to have this lens this year. It's sharp, it's wonderful. It's got a ton of vignetting wide open, which actually can be kind of cool. But anyway, so this is camera 2. And the same thing, I'm just leaving them connected because I'm going to take real good care of them while I'm traveling. I'm not going to let this thing get too beat up. Sitting in there, that little compartment with a little rocket blower. Dust. There's dust everywhere in Africa. So got to have rocket blowers. There's a lot of dust blowing around. Did I mention there's a lot of dust? Also over here, I've got a change of clothes. Not pants. I just brought an extra shirt, socks, and underwear that are going to ride in this carry-on with me. And then I've got the teleconverter, the 2X teleconverter here that I will use on the 400-2.8 to get me an 800mm f5.6. It works really well. And then a little sack full of all my batteries. So you can't pack your batteries in the checked bag, so batteries have to go in here. So it's actually a pretty hefty thing. I just left the batteries in the camera bodies here because they're traveling with me as well. So this is all backup spare batteries for both cameras and GoPro and this Sony ZV-1, my little vlogging camera. It's actually going to ride in here as well, but I'm using it right now, so I can't show it to you to record this. Okay, so there's that. What else? I've got a variable neutral density filter here. Where's my other filters? They must be in this bag somewhere. Mental note. Remember, find my filters. And so filter-wise, I'm bringing polarizing filters and variable neutral density filters. The variable neutral density filters will be so that I can slow my shutter speed way down. I like to do motion blur stuff at like a 1/15 of a second. So I need to be able to really darken that filter down in broad daylight so that I can slow my shutter speed way down. Okay, so this is, that's the deal with the Gura Gear bag. And as I mentioned, this goes on my back when I am out on the airplane cruising around. My checked baggage, I've got a bunch of little things. This is like a little pouch that has like my cleaning stuff, lens wipes and solution and sensor swabs and couple little tools like little tiny screwdrivers if I need to tighten some screws. So that little kit, that's going to ride in the checked bag here. This is kind of a backup lens. Like I like to have backups when I'm over there because if like that 35-150 breaks or if I lose it or drop it, then I'm kind of out of luck for the rest of the trip with wide angle stuff. So I'm bringing a backup, as this is my Nikon 24-120 f4, which is a wonderful lens. And this is what I've brought in the past and it's worked great. But I just like that 35-150 with the faster aperture. I think it's going to work a little bit better. So this is just in a little lens wrap. Tenba, I think, makes these. This one came from Pictureline. Colin over there at Pictureline, great guy. Give him a call if you need any gear. Anyway, so this just gets wrapped up and stuffed into my suitcase over there. And then this is the other thing that I'm packing. This is another kind of backup where I'm going to use this a lot, but I want to have 2 telephoto options with me in case if this one dies, I can happily go through the rest of the trip with the 400-2.8. And if the 400-2.8 dies, I will be very, very sad, but I can certainly manage the trip with this, the Nikon 180-600. Very, very versatile. My plan is to use this. The 400-2.8 is my primary telephoto option, and I want to use this, I think, a lot for some motion blur stuff. So I'm going to have a variable neutral density filter on the front of this most of the time, so I can just shoot slow motion blur shutter speed stuff. So that's kind of it. 4 lenses, 2 bodies and 4 lenses. That's what I'm bringing this year. The one thing that I'm kind of missing that I'm wondering if I should bring is the 14-30 f4, which is the ultra wide lens. I don't think I used it once last year, so I kind of talked myself out of bringing it this year. I hope I don't regret that. Gear-wise, that's about it. There's other little knick-knacky stuff floating around that I didn't tell you about. This is one thing that I've been bringing the last few years, and this is a monopod that I use upside down. So I've put a little top handle on it, and this is a little quick release head. So I can dangle my camera over the edge of the safari vehicle and get it lower to the ground. And with this monopod setup, you know, I can adjust the length of it, you know, how low do I want to dangle it. But when we're in the safari vehicles, sometimes you want to get your camera lower to the ground than you can getting it just straight out the window of the vehicle. And so let me show you how this will work. On the 400-2.8, for instance, this would just go onto the standard quick release foot there, and that would be about the deal. So this thing, I would be up in the safari vehicle holding this thing over the edge, and then I can flip this screen out, and then I can see what I'm shooting, what I'm pointing it at. And then I mentioned I had these 2 quick remote releases. So the wired one would obviously get wired to the camera and then up. I could either be operating that with this hand, like seeing where I'm going over here, looking at the screen out of the vehicle, and then using this to operate the shutter. And then I've also got a wireless one too. So I'll just, I've got these little Velcro ties that I can just Velcro that thing on. So I can shoot just pressing the button here, looking at the screen that's flipped out. And it's worked really well in the past, and I plan on doing that quite a bit for those times when you need to get lower. One new wrinkle to this is I kind of built my own little version of this that I'm not sure if it's going to work any better or not. But here's another version of this. I just built this using random parts that I found at B&H. This is smaller and lighter, and I think it's going to work quite well. It's this same deal, but it's not extendable, you know. This is a fixed length, so this is all it is. So I can hold this up high or dangle it out the window down lower. But one of the things I like about this is it's light enough that I can be like shooting out the window of the safari vehicle, and this isn't going to bother me too much. And then when it's time to go low, you know, it's just drop it down and let it rip. I got to flip the screen out and then off I go. Whereas this thing it's taller and heavier and just a little bit bulkier, that I don't like to have it attached. So when I want to transition from here to here, I've actually got to grab that thing, screw it on, and then drop it over the edge. So I'm not sure. This is an experiment. I just built this thing. I've never used it. So I will, I'll do a follow-up video on this after the trip if it works well, and I'll tell you all these different parts so you can build one for yourself. It cost, I don't remember, less than $100 in parts. And it was quite simple, but it's very robust and quite light. And I think it will do the job just in a little simpler, lighter, smaller package than the monopod. So hopefully that works. We'll see. I'm gonna try. So those two pieces of equipment are going to be packed in my checked bag as well. There's obviously, I'm not going to mention every single thing. I've got clothes in here. I've got some random stuff. This is my laptop bag. So I've got my laptop, my iPad, my computer accessories, my hard drives. They are all in that bag. And over here is all my clothes and toiletries, you know, all the stuff you need to bring with you to Africa. The bug bite stuff and the medications and all that stuff. One other thing I'm bringing that maybe a lot of people don't bring, I bring a jump rope. The places where we're staying don't have like gyms to work out, and we can't just go out for a run because we would get eaten by something. So it's too dangerous to like get some exercise out there. So I just bring a little jump rope. I can get a nice little workout in, just get my heart rate up and just get my body moving a little bit, because we spend a lot of time just in the safari vehicles and hanging out. So jump rope, lightweight, easy, you can do it anywhere, and it helps keep my body a little happier while I'm in Africa. That's about it. I've already set my cameras all to Africa time zone, because I will forget to do that once I get there otherwise. And that's about it. So thank you for watching. Keep an eye on my Instagram channel. If you're follow me on Instagram, I'll be doing some Instagram stories kind of throughout the trip, just to kind of keep people up to date on what we're seeing and what kind of fun we're having out there. And keep an eye on my website. Join my email list, please, if you're interested in next year's trip, because we have not announced that yet. But I will shortly upon return be putting together next year's trip, and we will have some obviously space available for that coming up soon. So join that email list, and then once I get that trip planned, that will be announced through that email list first. Okay? So anyway, that's it. I hope that helps. As I said, like, there's a million ways to do this, and this isn't the right way. So hopefully this just gives you some ideas on how you might pack and the things that you might choose. But we all have to make sacrifices. We can't bring everything we want, and we all like to shoot differently. So we all want to bring different gear as well. So you can have a great trip no matter what you bring. I mean, you could make awesome photos just with your iPhone over there. It's such a great place with so many good photo opportunities. But this is kind of, after a handful of trips, this is what I've settled in on, and that works great for me. So anyway, that's what this is for. This is not saying, you know, do it this way or you're an idiot. This is saying, this is how I'm doing it, and if this helps you to plan your trip better, that's what I'm hoping for. So anyway, thank you very much. Oh yeah, I'll mention too, I'm not in my house, obviously. Nobody's ever seen this layout before. My house is being remodeled. So that's part of the chaos of why my YouTubing has been slowed down. We've had a lot going on in the last year in life, and had to add a bedroom onto my house once my kids moved back in here full-time with me. So that should be ready, that new bedroom should be done in the next 2 weeks, I hope. So then I'll be back into my house again. But this is great, but that's why this looks different. So anyway, thanks again for watching. Sorry I rambled and rambled and rambled. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you when I get back from Africa. Have a good one.